Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Kengan Omega Chapter 78. We got a short but very interesting chapter this week. So the first thing of note is we got a little bit of explanation into what exactly it is that Yumigahama does. So there's a short flashback to Kengan Ashura Gaiden, I think, in which we see essentially the first Kengan match. And in this match, we get the explanation of one of the fighter's techniques, which is him putting his hands together. I think it's called like the prayer sword or something. And he uses all of the muscles in his body to basically make himself function like a weapon, like a sword. And Yumigahama does something akin to this. He uses his fingers like a spear. And per Kaneda's observations, apparently Yumigahama is someone that goes around meeting martial artists for the distinct purpose of stealing their martial arts. And for that reason, Kaneda really doesn't like him. So I know a lot of people were confused, about what exactly Kaneda was pissed over. Some people thought he was just pissed about him meeting other martial arts and learning from them. Or meeting other martial artists and learning from them. But I think it's more him cozying up to people for the distinct purpose of basically stealing their techniques. Which is pretty scummy, yeah. We've been able to learn that Yumigahama is a pretty self-serving opportunist. So that's pretty in line with his character. And we get to see that in use. He's able to change the direction of his attacks with the flick of a wrist, which is able to take Misasa off guard. So he's quite fearsome. I think there will be more that he does. I definitely think he has more just beyond this, because this is pretty simple stuff for the Fang to use, even if it is pretty efficient. Now, beyond that, that's most of the chapter. We get to see a little bit more of Misasa, and we get to see some of his buddies from the extermination force. And they say that Misasa tends to wait till the last minute to finish a fight. And we see that with the ring getting very small now, and Misasa smashing Yumigahama's face into the ground. Now, this hit is apparently strong enough to make Yumigahama start shaking. When I saw the Raws, I originally thought that he wasn't able to move his thumb anymore, and that he was using some sort of martial art that targeted pressure points. But upon reading the translation, I realized that Yumigahama is just shaking because he got hit so hard, which shows that despite his small size, Misasa is quite powerful. And he takes off his shirt, so his power level is going to increase tenfold. He's removed his limiter. So now he's in serious mode, even though we haven't really seen him doing much out of serious mode. I guess he only fights in serious mode for real, per his own extermination members' statements. He likes to really get into it at the end. And him saying, it's time to go to hell, it's like, oh no. Yumigahama, you're going to be dragged to Brazil. You're going to be dragged off to hell now. So, very excited to see what that exactly means. I assume that just means that Misasa is going to beat the ever-loving shit out of Yumigahama. So that's very exciting. We still didn't get a confirmation as to what exactly his martial arts is, but I've seen a lot of people saying Krav Maga, which is the name of the martial art used by the IDF and the Israeli Special Forces. It's a combination of various different types of martial arts that is designed around efficiency, as you would expect of a military and special forces unit. And it is apparently excellent for close quarters combat, which is, that's Misasa's thing. So that's probably what it is. I know some people think that's because... So the reason a lot of people thought it would specifically be Krav Maga is because Retsudo has a tattoo over his left eye that's apparently Kengan in Hebrew. And they say somewhere that Retsudo learned from Misasa. I don't remember. So that would actually be very interesting if that turned out to be true based on that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, like, that's basically the entire content of the chapter. I'd say the only other thing really of note is when Misasa is starting to take up more hits from Yumigahama. Um, he says that, oh man, this is really troublesome. I probably should have just let Kano take care of this. So there are, well, really only one thing to take from it. You could say that Kano is just more effective in close quarters combat than Misasa is, but then Misasa probably wouldn't be the close quarters combat specialist. This is basically just him admitting that, yeah, Kano is stronger than him, and presumably Yumigahama may be stronger than him. So when they say Yumigahama was as good as Kano was, it's probably safe to assume that they are talking about pre-Annihilation Tournament Kano, because the strength that Kano exhibited was increased exponentially during the tournament. Like, he basically went from A tier to S tier over the course of the tournament. So the Yumigahama that they're talking about is probably closer to an A tier fighter than an S tier, if they mean pre-Annihilation Tournament. If they're talking during Annihilation Tournament Kano, then yeah, definitely Yumigahama would probably be stronger than Misasa, and of course Kano would be stronger than Misasa. So that's really all that I have to say about that. For this week's monkey joke, let's see. Something monkey with a gun. I don't know. You may think of that one Planet of the Apes promo, or that really fantastic strip from one of the Hellboy comics. So there you go. That's this week's Primate Humor. I'll be sure to think of a clever monkey title by the time this video is uploaded. But yeah, this was a pretty light chapter. It was good. I'd say I've noticed a pattern with basically all the Kengan Omega chapters, and I'm kind of starting to have an issue with it, because it's like all of the chapters basically have the same format, where you get the explanation of a character's something, backstory or technique, then you have more fighting, and then you have a character do a big attack on one of the other fighters, and then the last page is saying some sort of line, and then that's supposed to lead into whatever the content of the next chapter is. Like, that's literally every single week with Kengan Omega. And I kind of wish they would mix it up a little, maybe. I don't know. That would probably make it a little more refreshing, because a lot of these chapters, it feels like I know exactly what I'm getting, like I can just predict exactly what is going to happen thematically with each chapter. So maybe it'd be a little nice if they started to mix things up a little bit. But yeah, that's really all I have left to say. Oh, I somehow forgot to mention in a couple of my previous videos, but my first copyright strike is gone, so we're back down to 1. So if we can avoid accidentally violating copyright law for the next few months, then we will have no copyright strikes. We will be golden. We'll be good to go. And since I haven't really changed up any of my content significantly, we'll probably be good. So yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I do Kengan Omega reviews every week. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, and Bleach, I do videos on those series as well, so if you're interested, you should definitely check out my channel. If you enjoy discussing Kengan Omega with other people, or you just enjoy the content I produce on this channel, you should definitely check out my Discord server. I have a link to it on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.